This will be our third shir, Be'ezus Hashem Yisbarach, and Kedushas Eretz Yisrael. If we think about what is the difference between one nation and another, why are certain people attracted to live in certain places? Why do some people prefer living in the north? Some people prefer living in certain kinds of weather, certain kinds of climates, city dwellers versus country bumpkins. And also, if we think about it, what is the difference and what makes such a difference between people who live in one country and a few kilometers over the border? We can sometimes find a totally different culture. I was reading this article about all the different tribes in Afghanistan and how they're all so different, and there's around 15 of them, and they're all fighting each other. Well, they only live, a hair's breadth away from each other. Why? Because they live in the north of Afghanistan, that they take on this personality, and those who live in the south took on this personality. So, based on the teachings of the Arizal and Sefer Shar HaGilgulim, the Arizal teaches us that the place where a person lives is not just a physical issue. It's not just an issue of where their body is, but it's an issue of the soul. And it's a spiritual issue. And the type of soul one has is very much the basis of how a person relates to the environment around him. And the type of soul a person has is very much based on where that person is from, and all of the influences of their society. And not just the influences of the society, but the society builds its personality based on the physical place where it is, which affects the spiritual. And this is what Chazal speak about, that each nation, each land has a sar, has an officer in heaven, which guards over it and is its guardian and it's, so to speak, its governor. And of course, Chazal teach us that the governor, the sar, the officer of Eretz Yisrael, is HaKadosh Baruch Hu b'chvoidoi uva'atzmo. And that is in and of itself what makes HaKadosh Baruch Hu watch over Eretz Yisrael, and it's what makes Eretz Yisrael so special. It makes Eretz Yisrael the most suitable place to serve HaKadosh Baruch Hu, because HaKadosh Baruch Hu himself is the Sar. There's no intermediary, but the Shefa Eloki, the abundance, the blessing, the connection to Hashem Yisbarach comes straight from HaKadosh Baruch Hu. It's not channeled through any other officer, but it's direct. And in fact, the Lashon, which the Arizal uses to describe a Jew who leaves Eretz Yisrael, it's like imagine an infant, a fetus, stretching the umbilical cord and moving farther and farther away from its mother. The farther a person lives from Eretz Yisrael, the more they're stretching this umbilical cord. The closer a person lives, and the more in Eretz Yisrael, and even closer to Yerushalayim, the center of everything, then a person is receiving his spiritual nourishment directly from Hashem Yisbarach. And the Pnei Menachem teaches us, the previous Ger Rebbe writes on Parshas Pinchas, and he speaks about his uncle, the Lev Simcha, that he would say every year on Parshas Pinchas, Shabbos Parshas Pinchas, he Shabbos Gedola. It is a great Shabbos. Why? Because within the Parsha it describes the Nachalut, Hashvatim, the settling of the Shvatim, the division of the different lands of Eretz Yisrael being given to each Shevet. And within that, that's also a very deep inyan, that Zvulun was given the territory, what we think is near Haifa, because that was what called out to his soul. That was the place that he would serve HaKadosh Baruch Hu the best. And Yehuda got the area of Yerushalayim and to the south, because that was the place, and also to the west, what's known as Yehuda. That would be the place where he would serve Hashem best. And Ephraim, each Shevet got the portion of land which would bring them closest to Hashem Yisbarach. And HaKanos Shel Pinchas, the great acts of Kanos of Pinchas, and Kol HaMoadim, and all of the holidays. Benos Tzlavcha, the daughters of Tzlavcha, who were so in love with Eretz Yisrael that they couldn't bear to think that their father's portion in the land would be lost. And Chalukah Sa'aretz, the division of the land. And here he quotes the Baal HaTurim. Mevi et HaSifri, she'HaKadosh Baruch Hu hir'ah l'Moshe Rabbeinu alav hashalom es kol ha'aretz. The Baal HaTurim quotes the Sifri, which teaches us that HaKadosh Baruch Hu showed Moshe Rabbeinu all of Eretz Yisrael. And the Sifri explains, what is all of Eretz Yisrael? HaMe'oros, the HaMachilos, the Otzos Kesev V'Zav Sheba. HaKadosh Baruch Hu showed Moshe Rabbeinu all of the tunnels and the caves and the treasures of silver and gold. V'yesh lahavin ma'u ha'inin shel Otzos Kesev V'Zav. Why did HaKadosh Baruch Hu show Moshe Rabbeinu the treasures, the buried treasures of Kesev and Zav, of silver and gold? Upashut yitzachen l'kayem havtachaso. On the simple level, it's to fulfill his promise. What HaKadosh Baruch Hu said, Kisavoy, when you come to Eretz Yisrael, B'surahi lehem sha'al yedechen imso matmonosov shehitzminu emorim. HaKadosh Baruch had promised Klal Yisrael that when they would come into Eretz Yisrael, they're going to get the treasures which the Amoraim hid. V'gam me'oitzos kesev v'zav efshar la'asais Torah. Oid yesh lomer kamo she'amru tzadikim she'oitzos Elohem libois b'nei Yisrael. But there's another parish, a deeper parish, which says that these treasures, when the pasuk is talking about treasures, this is the hearts of Eretz Yisrael. Hatshukot v'haritzunot. These are the longings and the desires, harimuzim b'kesev v'zav, which are hidden in the gold and in the silver.